Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour. Bienvenue au cours de français communautaire. Je m'appelle Monsieur Léo et je suis votre prof de français ce matin. Bonjour et bienvenue. Je suis content de vous voir ici et j'espère que ce leçon ça vous plaît. I'm happy to see you here and I hope that this lesson pleases you. Ok, bon. J'espère que vous avez passé une bonne journée hier. Hier, il faisait très beau. Oui, so yesterday, I hope you had a good day yesterday, a nice day. It was very warm out here in Boston. It was very warm. Oui, bon. Ok. Now, avant que nous commençons, j'ai deux questions pour vous. D'accord. Ok. Bon, quelle est la date aujourd'hui? Non, ça c'est une question que je vous demande tous les jours et j'espère que vous êtes capable de répondre. Bon, quelle est la date aujourd'hui? Non, donc, nous avons une petite formule comme ça. Aujourd'hui, c'est mercredi parce que c'est mercredi, oui. Wednesday. Aujourd'hui, c'est mercredi, le 24. Le 24. 24. Le 24 mars, finalement, 2021. Répétez. Et répétez après moi. Aujourd'hui, c'est mercredi, le 24 2021. Très bien tout le monde. Ok. Aussi, la deuxième question. Quel temps fait-il? Quel temps fait-il? Now, you might hear me say fait-il. And now the reason why I say fait-il is because when you have a consonant followed by a vowel, sometimes you have to put a liaison. Qu'est-ce que c'est une liaison? Une liaison, it's a way to make the sound a flow. So it's quel temps fait-il? That's how we say it in French. Ok. Quel temps fait-il? Aujourd'hui, ce matin, this morning. Aujourd'hui, il fait gris. Outside my window, it's gray outside. Il fait confortable aussi. Il fait confortable, oui. It's comfortable. Il fait gris, il fait confortable. Il ne pleut pas. Non, il ne pleut pas. Grâce à Dieu, thank God. Il n'est pas humide. Il ne fait pas humide, non. Il n'y a pas de... Ah! Ce matin, je pensais qu'il y avait du brouillard, non? I thought there was a little brouillard this morning. Fog. Brouillard is fog. Il neige pas. Merci. Ok. Bon. Très bien, tout le monde. Très bien. Et si vous voulez, vous pourriez répondre dans les commentaires. Ah oui, très bien. Oui, très bien. Il fait beau, il fait du soleil. Très bien, Kristen. J'ai vu vos commentaires, votre commentaire. Très bien. Ok. Dac. Ok, bon. Très bien. Je vais mettre ça là. Non, pardon. Ok. Donc, très bien. On va commencer la leçon. Ok, donc, l'objet direct. So, I've done this lesson previously, but it's good to recap, I believe. It's very good to recap because with French, as with any language, you have to you build off of everything. So it's good to go back and it's good to review what we work on. So in a previous video, if you have any questions, please go back and search for my objet direct too, because I go in depth about this and I will go in depth about it today as well. Donc, okay. So, grammaire, l'objet direct. So, a direct object. So, people may ask, what is a direct object? What is an indirect object? And so I'll tell you what a direct object is right now. So, the direct object refers to the noun that receives the action of a verb. So we know that a verb is an action, right? The verb gives action in a sentence. Le verbe donne l'action dans une phrase. Donc, you can identify it by asking yourself who or what receives the action, like who swims or who jumps or who plays. It can be replaced by a direct object pronoun to avoid repetition. In French, the direct object pronoun precedes the verb. So like we would say, in French we say, for example, the example we have there is I watch the movie. Je regarde le film en français. But if you want to say I watch it, it is replacing the direct, it is like the direct object. You say je le regarde. Je le regarde. And the reason why we use le is because le film is masculine. So you have to know the gender of the noun in order to make the direct object agree. Because in French is an accordance language, meaning masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Nouns take gender, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Excusez-moi. So certain nouns, they take gender, so you have to know what the gender is of the noun in order to make it agree, to make the direct object agree. I'll show you what I mean. Oh, pardon. Okay. So we have, when you conjugate a verb, you have, in French, you have 6 conjugations. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you have a direct object, since there are 6 conjugations, there's going to be 6 direct objects that you can replace. For example, first person singular, this is equivalent to je, the je ou j'ai apostrophe. This turns to m, or m apostrophe, m, m apostrophe. So that's like je m'aime, I like myself, basically. Second person singular, t, ou t apostrophe, that equals you. Has anybody ever heard this? I think you got, a lot of people do. Has anybody heard this? Oops. Je t'aime. Je t'aime. That means I love, technically like you. So this is where in English we say I like you. In French you say je t'aime. You like, basically. That's where French can get kind of unique. So then we have the third, that's the second person singular, meaning it's not me, but it's you, so that's second. Third person singular, so meaning third person, meaning not me, not you, but he, she, or it. So third person singular, we have le, elle apostrophe, him or it, la, elle apostrophe, her or it. So meaning, how you might ask me, how do I choose for it? You know, how do I choose? Well, you just have to know the gender of the noun. So for example, le film, la télé, la télévision. So it's la télévision. L'hôpital, elle apostrophe, l'hôpital. You can just choose. You just have to know. Très bien. So then now we're working on the plural. So first person plural, we have nous. I was just making sure if there were any comments. Nous. So first person plural. Nous. That means us. So that's equivalent to we, us. Second person plural. Vous. You. So this is the more formal you. Those of you who have studied other languages like Spanish or Portuguese, Romanian, the Romance languages, basically, they have the second person plural. The second person, like formal if you want to call it. In English, we don't. So that equals you, and we say vous. So for example, right here, je t'aime, I love you. You could also say this, je vous aime. Je vous aime. And the rule is, you conjugate the verb with the first subject pronoun. So, je. If I want to say, you love me, it'd be, vous m'aimez. Vous m'aimez. Question? You can do a question. Vous m'aimez? That's an interesting way. So you see how I put, je vous aime means I love you. Vous m'aimez means you love me, question mark. And you conjugate the verb for whatever subject pronoun you have first. So it's je aime, vous aimez. Très bien. And then finally, we have them, which is les. Now this doesn't take a gender. This doesn't, so it could be, you can have a masculine plural or a feminine plural, and you don't take it. Well, we know the masculine plural subject pronoun is il, right? And then the feminine plural is elle, right? I'll do it in majuscule. Well, when you want to say them, it doesn't change. Them meaning in this direct object when you're replacing the direct object. Très bien. Okay. Très bien. So, with this in mind, let's try this exercise together. Exercice 3. Fill in with appropriate direct object pronoun. So we're going to be taking this, what we learned up here, and we're going to be applying. Okay. So for the first one, il, them, adore. Adore means love. Aime means like or to love, but in a similar context. Bon, so numéro 1. Now I'm going to be putting it in this little box over here, so if you would like, please follow along. You could write it down, you can do what have you. But this will also be made into a worksheet on the website. Okay, so il. How do I say them in French? Them. Remember, them is the third person plural for the direct object. Il, les, très bien. Adore. Oops. Adore. Très bien. Il les adore. He loves them. Because we know il means he. Adore. Conjugated. I love, you love, he, she loves them. Très bien. Numéro 2. Je vous encourage à venir. Je vous. So with this, it's not specified to say you or you all. So I'm going to put the second person singular because that's what I would know. So it would be, I'm going to put two options here and I want you to tell me which one's correct. So we have je, we have the second person singular is te, right? Then you also have this, te apostrophe, right? Which one would it be? Encourage. Now, those of you who take my Intro 1 class, as well as Intro 2, I discussed this in depth. I discussed when to use the apostrophe versus not the apostrophe. So it would be je t'encourage. So we put the apostrophe. Why do we put the apostrophe, you may ask? Well, because it has a vowel, right? So in French, the French love when things flow. They love hearing things flow nicely off the tongue, you know? So it's je t'encourage. If I kept it as this, listen to how this sounds. Je t'encourage. Je t'encourage. That doesn't sound nice, right? So we want to keep it like this. Je t'encourage. Je t'encourage à venir. Now, I don't have the capability of putting the accent there unless I type in a formula, and I don't have the formula because I don't have a Mac. Pardon. So, je t'encourage à venir means I encourage you to come. Venir means to come. Like, you could say to come from or to come, but when you say to come from, it uses a different preposition. This is a preposition that means to, but if you want to say come from, it changes. Très bien. Numéro 2, numéro 3. Nous, you all, aimons. Nous, you all, aimons. Okay, so we have nous. And now you notice, nous, the verb is always conjugated with the subject pronoun. So we have nous aimons. Nous. How do I say her? Right here, right? Third person singular, la, ou elle écoute, right? Now the reason why I'm saying écoute is because it's l'écoute, right? Because when I told you, just like up above, when you have a consonant followed by a vowel, you have to put the apostrophe. Nous l'écoute toujours. Nous l'écoute toujours. Toujours means still or always. So basically this sentence translates to we are still listening to her. So that could be interpreted in several ways. But yeah, so we are still listening to her. Oh, like you could be like, we're still listening to her. So it all depends. Très bien. Le 4. Oh. Oh my gosh, I mixed them both up. So sorry. Ah, pardon, pardon. Je m'excuse. Ok. Nous. How do we say you all? Here we go. That's what I want. You all. We want to use vous, right? So we say vous, pardon. That's the second person plural. Nous, you all, aimons. There we go. That's correct. Nous vous aimons. That means we like you all. So if you're in a group, either you could be in a group and you could say vous. 4. Elle. There we go. This is where you guys will get 100 on this phrase. Elle écoute toujours. Now, if you want to look French, like if you want to, this is what the French do. Like to write toujours, they do like a texting version. They do toujours, TJRS, toujours. Toujours means like still or always. So we are still like they are still listening to her, basically. Très bien. 5. And then I will let you guys do 6 and 7 on your own. Because I kind of like to give it a little homework with this, to break take-home homework. Tu means you, right? So tu, and then how do we say us? Remember, us is the first person plural. So it's nous, right? Now this looks strange, right? You may say to me, isn't nous a subject pronoun? But in this context, it's the direct object. So it's tu nous invites à ton mariage. Tu nous invites à ton mariage? This one's also kind of interesting. Basically, it translates to, are you going to invite us to your marriage? Are you going to invite us? The nous is us. So it doesn't translate literally to English. This translates to, you, us, invite to your marriage. We don't say that in English. So, très bien. Okay. And then I'll put this one here. 6. Elle me. That's me. Sorry, that's me, not me. In French, we say déteste. 7. Je them prends avec moi. So those are the last 2 I would like for you to do at home. So what's going to happen is this is going to be made into a worksheet. The reason why I give you these now is because it might take a day to make the worksheet. It all depends on when my colleague can do it. So yeah, so very good. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section, and I will be very glad to answer. I see 2 comments right here. Oui, très bien, Christelle. Oui, j'ai vu vos commentaires là. Très bien. Et, tac, tac, tac. C'est difficile de voir les commentaires et aussi le livre. It's difficult to see the book and the comments at the time. But very good. Très bien, très bien. Okay. So this will be made into a worksheet. So if you want to work on these together or with what have you, you can do that at home. I will post it right here. And if you would like to make a screenshot, you're more than welcome. Let me make it bigger. Voilà. OK. Et aussi, let's recap what we did today. So, we did l'objet direct. So, l'objet direct, the direct object. You also have the indirect object in French, but we look at that a little later. Let's review. So, the direct object refers to the noun that receives the action. So, in English, remember, we replace it. We replace the direct object before the noun. In French, it goes after before the verb. So, I watched the movie. Je regarde le film. So, I watch it. Je le regarde, for example. And then we learned the correct endings for each of these. So, we have, not the endings, but the correct direct object pronouns. First person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, and third person plural. And then finally, to reinforce this, we did a exercise right here. We did these 5 questions, and then 6 and 7 you can do at home. And then, yeah, that's it. So, bon, très bien. Très bien. OK. So, si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas de les y mettre dans les commentaires et je vais les répondre dans un instant, OK? So if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section down below and I will answer them when I get a chance. Et oui, c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. So that's all for today. I will see you next Monday. Je vous verrai le mardi prochain. Le mardi prochain. Et j'espère que vous passerez une bonne week-end et une bonne journée aujourd'hui. I hope that you will have a great weekend and a great day today. Et oui, c'est tout. OK tout le monde. Ciao, ciao. Au revoir. Bonne journée. Ciao.